I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing good, doing good. A little tired, but good.
You look lovely. Your hair is beautiful down.
Thank you. I just washed it. It's getting a little long. I'm gonna have it trimmed, but
It
other than that,
is. It looks so pretty.
thank you. Adam is saying, "Hello, Mama. I love you."
Hi, Adam. I love you. You know, I had no idea what a Joe Crocker fan I am. Seriously, some of the songs that are his, I just heard the cover version, like Feeling All Right by Huey Lewis. I bought his anthology, I can't talk this morning, and his greatest hits, and
Uh
I
huh.
love his music.
I know a few of his songs. I don't know. I don't know. There's probably a lot of songs that I don't know, but I probably know his biggest hits.
Uh huh.
He's here, and Adam is saying he brought him here because Adam wanted to talk to everybody about addiction.
Oh, okay. What a great subject.
Yeah, he says, so many people are struggling in this moment in time, and, addiction um, is a very common outcome of that struggle. And so he wanted
It
to
is.
bring in some people that he thought were um, had a very clear insight for years what an addiction can do. Um, and so he brought Joe Cocker in, who's very happy that he gets to help people with this. And Adam's going, Mom, look. There's my super mom. But he's saying, I brought somebody else who's also very common with the subject and who hasn't really gotten to express his opinion from the other side much, he says. And that is John Belushi.
John! Oh my gosh. Oh, what a
So they're
treat.
both here and they're both going, hi.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much. This is a subject very close to my heart. You know, some of the people I've loved the nearest and dearest, have struggled with this issue. Not
Mm-hmm.
Adam, thank God, but others in my family, and other loved ones and everybody's families.
Yeah, and Adam is saying, I really want to discuss this a little bit more because, he's saying, I do know people close to my heart who are struggling with it, and I want to bring some clarity to it, and I also want to maybe give some solutions or maybe give them a different insight in it so they might be able to be strong enough to step away from it or be strong enough to get some help, and so now John is really hyper and he's very kind of bubbly. Joe is a lot more calmer, a lot more serene. So he's very okay. And then John's kind of bouncing around like a little basketball. But John and Adam's energy are very similar.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
You're probably
So
like boing, boing, Adam, boing, boing, John.
that, and he's saying, we get along real well because we love pulling pranks on people. We love making silly faces and making people laugh, and so in a way, when we look at our vibration, we're pretty similar into how we connected with people. How
Yeah.
we wanted people to see us as these goofy, fun-loving people, and so in a way, we're still we're still acting like two clowns. He says over here, and still try to get a rise out of people. We still prank people as well.
How
So
fun.
that's always fun. Now, this is Joe. He's saying his name is John too. They were kind of discussing about it. He's like, my real name is John too. I was like, okay, we got two Johns, so let's keep it at Joe and John. Otherwise,
There
I'll
we
get
go.
confused.
Before we finish here, I want Joe to tell us how he ended up with the name Joe. But let's not get sidetracked yet, if he doesn't want to answer that yet. But I gotta know. Nobody knows.
He's saying that when he was a little boy, he always liked to play cowboys and Indians.
Okay.
And he always called himself Cowboy Joe. And it just kind of stuck with him.
Gotcha.
That's how he got the name. The family actually took it in, and then he just used it as his stage name. But he says his real name is John. He's saying Pam called me John. My wife called me by my real name. But most people called me Joe, and it just kind of got stuck. It's really a silly story, he says, so that's why it's really not that important. But yeah, I used to walk around with a cowboy hat on and play cowboys and Indians, and that's where it came from. So
that's awesome.
Something very innocent. Now, he's saying, when we talk about addictions, he's saying, I went through addictions for at least 30 years. I struggled with it for a very, very long time. And, it took the love of Pam to help me to get over it. It really took that love to fill the pieces that were missing inside of me. And all addictions really start with, there's always a spiritual background behind it. There's always a story behind it. It's just a way. We want to fulfill a need, something that's missing, something that's lacking, or sometimes, we just see other people do it. We just kind of learn the behavior from parents. We learn behavior from our best friends. We want to be cool. We want to get into the group. And then other times it really is a soul contract. It really is a part of learning to experience how it is to lose control, how it is to overcome the addiction, the struggles that are with it, loss of family and friends. There are so many lessons that can be learned from it. So there's different reasons why addiction happens. Now, he's saying for me, I was very insecure about myself, and I always have been throughout my life. He's saying when it came to what I wanted to do, because I wasn't good in school, I wasn't really good at being a gas fitter, he says. I didn't even get my degree in that, but I tried. Because my father believed that you needed to have a steady job because, we came from right after the war, and it was very important that you had a steady job and a steady income. You needed to have that security, but it really didn't do anything for me. I loved singing, and I loved performing, but in a way, I always wanted to get approval of my father. Right. He didn't really support it. He thought I should go back into a steady job. But my mom was very supportive. My mom was happy for me. My mom was very impressed. But even when I came on TV, my father was not impressed. And so in a way, that really built up a sense of insecurity within myself. I never felt like he was proud of me. I know he loved me. I know that. But I always felt like I disappointed him in some way. And so in a way, I started to feel that way about myself. I started to own that frequency, that energy that he was sending out. And I really started to doubt myself. I really started to be insecure of myself. I didn't think I had the greatest voice either.
That's crazy.
Although other people are like, you had this incredible roughness and this, lived kind of voice. And, a lot of people told me, never get rid of that. Never get rid of that. That's your signature. That's your mark. But he says, when I heard other people sing, I in a way, I wanted to be more like them. I would compare myself to others. And again, that would bring me down. So my whole life, I struggled with insecurities within myself, and I tried to fill up that void. I tried to suppress those feelings because, the more I got insecure, the more I needed the drugs and the alcohol to do my performances because I was scared to death. I was scared I wasn't good enough. I was scared that, people wouldn't like it. And so I started to substitute self-love with drugs and alcohol. And so that's how it all started for me. And when I got he's saying when I got the first hit, money started rolling in real fast. But he's saying, it started rolling out real fast too. So a lot of things, followed from the addiction. I went bankrupt. I owed the taxes so much money. It took me 15 years to get out of that debt. So most of my life I was broke. And it wasn't just about the alcohol abuse and the cocaine. He's saying it was also, people using money for things behind my back that I wasn't aware of. Or maybe I didn't want to see it at that time. I didn't want to bother with it. I had enough problems dealing with myself and the self-image that I had. So a lot of things went wrong. And that's the thing with addiction, he says, you start to lose track of what's really important too. Your constant motivation every day is, where can I get more? How can I do it? Your priorities really get mixed up. And eventually you lose yourself, so in a way, addiction is not only an emotional problem because you're trying to fill voids, you're trying to substitute one thing for another, but it's also physical. He says a physical problem because it affects your body, it affects your mind, and if we look closely at it, it really. He's saying the addictions really change your brain. He's saying because you're like he's saying you I don't even know that word. I think he's saying you subvert the way that it registers pleasure, right? And then you kind of corrupt all the normal drives, such as learning and motivation, and so really you're starting to you're starting to train the brain to think very illogically. You eliminate, you eliminate the fact that you want to learn. You eliminate the fact that you want to grow and continue, and you just replace it just with this urge of getting rid of the pain, almost getting to a numbness state. You don't want to deal with it. You don't want to face it. We just want to be numb. And so when we try to hide from our problems, when we try to, in a way, you give up. When you give up to face your demons and to, face the reality that the only person who can deal with these demons is yourself, and the only person who can fix the problem and move forward in a more positive way is you. When we run away from that aspect, we just want to be numb. We just want to be paralyzed in a way. So in a way, you're like a refugee. You're trying to flee from the problems, right? And then you end up in this place where you're 100 times worse than you were before. And addiction is something that is so hard to get rid of. It's something that is extremely hard to change the way that you see things and change the way that you experience things. Because even if the mental state is there where you go, okay, I need to stop this. I need to get my life back on track. I need to go there. Your physical is still going, I need this. I need this. So, and then if the mental isn't there, but the physical is, let's say you've gone through a cleansing. Let's say you've gone through detox. You went to a center Um, it happens that people that are clean for, let's say, a year or a month or several months, the physical urge is not there yet. But if the mental problem isn't fixed, then you'll have the mental urge again. So there's always, it's so hard to get rid of an addiction, but it is possible. I want people to know that it is possible. For me, I did it with the help of somebody who loved me and supported me. The first thing that I want to say is don't be scared to ask for help. Okay? Ask people around you who love you, who support you, to help you. The second thing is you need to admit that it is a problem. Okay? Because if you're asking for help, but you don't want to admit that it's a problem, and you think it's just a little thing here and there, then guess what? You're never gonna succeed in going completely clean. So surround yourself with people who love you and really make that connection with yourself. Make that contract with yourself and say, okay, this is it. I need to change now, or this could have some more dramatic results. Think about it. You're missing out. You're missing out on life. You're missing out on all these possibilities because you're in a constant state of numbness, so you're missing out on so many good things. It's not going to make your world better. It's not going to make you move forward. The only thing it does, it just numbs you, and you're just staying in one place. You're not going anywhere. So get the courage, he says, to admit that you have a problem and then ask people for help. They will love you. They will support you. And then you really need to open up and be true to yourself, because you need to figure out where this problem came from in the first place.
Right.
Because if you never fix the underlying problem, you'll always have a tendency of getting a quick fix. Okay? So it's just, if you can do these three things, he says, just like I had to do, and it took me a while. He says, you also have to be patient. You won't be fixed in a month. It's going to take years and years of, catching yourself going, oh no, I don't want to go there again. He said for years, even after I was sober and I was clean, it was hard to stay away from the alcohol because people drink alcohol socially, and you're like, okay, I really want to join, but I knew that whenever I would touch it, I would be able to say no, and I would stop. So it'll take years and years and years of self-discipline to really stay away from it. But the benefits and the healing that you get after that experience, is very can be great. It can be a tremendous change in your life, and it can open so many doors to a new beginning, a new you. It's about reinventing yourself after that, because if you've lived with addiction for so many years, you kind of lose your identity. So you kind of have to reinvent, like, who am I now, and where do I go, and what do I want to experience? And he says, I just want everybody to know that it is possible. Okay? It's going to take a lot of effort. It's going to take a lot of pain and suffering, and it's going to take a lot out of the people who love you as well, because they're going to have to be strong for you. And they are also going through this process. So know that and support each other in that, because it's also very hard on the people who have to go through the struggles that you're going through. It hurts them as well, because they don't want to see you suffer, and they just want to help you. So keep that in mind, he says, because I know when I detoxed, I could get pretty mean to the people who were supporting me. I could get pretty mean to the people who loved me. But, they always kept in mind that, this is just a way for me to lash out. This is just a way for me to deal with things. So I was lucky that I got Pam. He says, I was lucky. Without her, I wouldn't have lived this long.
Thank you so much. What amazing information. Thank you so much.
And I just wanted to add something, addiction can start very innocent.
Yes, it can.
He's saying, for me, when I first became successful, I was just a beer drinker. But as I started meeting people like Janis Joplin and Jimi Hendrix, I was attracted to the idea of being worry-free and being pain-free and things like that. And so I just kind of rolled in from one thing to the next. So, be always aware, he says, about your choices that you make. Be aware that one thing can lead to another, even if you're not, if that's not your intention, it can still lead to something. So always be aware of your decision making, because that's very, very important, he says.
Thank you.
John is saying, hey, I'm still here too.
Hey, John.
He's saying, hey, everybody. We're here from the other side.
I'm so excited you came. It's amazing.
He is so weird. He's giving me this look with like an eyebrow. I can't even do that. It's giving me this eyebrow pull up. Really weird. He's saying, for me, it really came with fatigue. Really? Believe it or not, he says. We were working so hard with Saturday Night Live, and we really had a lot of long days, long nights, and so it really started with a way for me to stay awake. And then one thing, it just started going from one thing to the next. I really like partying, and I like going out, and it was easy to get to, he says, it was easy to get to, because once you're in kind of a celebrity kind of environment, it's pretty common. It's all around, and it's really easy to kind of get lost into that. And so, for me, same thing. I felt like I could perform better, that my performances were better when I was high. And so it really, I see now, he says that, I didn't need it. I see that now. But back then, you're so tired and you're so busy and you really want to I was a perfectionist. Like, I really wanted to get the best out of me that I could. And in some weird way or form, when you do start doing drugs, your brain is saying, oh, you look better. You can act better and you can do this. It's all an illusion. It's not real. But that's what it makes you feel. And so I really started taking it to improve my my performances. And, again, he says, I did the same. I did go into rehab. I was clean for a whole year. I even hired, he says, a bodyguard, not to protect me from others, but to protect me from myself. So I was very dedicated in quitting. I was very dedicated in getting sober. And I did do that for a whole year. I was completely sober. But somehow, after I told him, hey, I don't need you anymore, I really got back into the game, and somebody injected me with an overdose. Stupid me, he says. It was the dumbest decision I ever made. But he says, I just hope that my death brought awareness of the problem within my friends and my family. I hope it opened up the eyes that this could go really wrong, and that this could really affect your life in a dramatic way and even cause death. So I hope that I helped some friends of mine to say, oh, we need to step away. We can't let that happen to us.
Absolutely.
So he's saying, I'm saying what Joe's saying was right. It's all about understanding that this is a problem that's deeper than just the addiction.
Right.
It's a problem that's internally we are struggling and we are looking for a way out. He's saying, guys, this is not the way out. Okay, this is just a way deeper. We see that now. They're saying if you do have problems, if you don't feel good, if you have emotional problems, if you're dealing with a past that you cannot overcome, there are so many other ways to really overcome these hurdles. There are so many other ways to make yourself stronger, and it really starts with looking from within. If we can take the root from whatever is causing your pain and dig it out and get rid of it, or you don't really have to get rid of it. You just have to understand what this root does to you on a spiritual level. If you understand the meaning, why you have to go through all those struggles, why you have to go through the insecurities, now we understand that we went through the insecurities, so we can get to a point where we can say, you know what, I'm never going to be happy if I'm not happy with myself. It has to start with self-love. And that's the thing. Look at where the problem started. Go back in your mind. When did this fear start? Or when did this problem start? What was the cause of it? And then he says, the second thing is you have to ask yourself, did I cause that problem? Or am I being affected by somebody else's problem? Because a lot of our personal problems are being put on us. We kind of absorb them, but they're not really our problems. They are problems of parents. Maybe they had a bad relationship. Maybe they were abusive, whatever it might be, it might be maybe because you were bullied in school. It might be, there's so many reasons for certain problems that are not really us. It's other people who have induced these problems upon us. We claim them as our own, and then, later on in life, they really affect us in a very negative way. But if we can see where the problem is, where's the root? And if we can see, is this really me? Or am I just taking other people's problems? Because other people who bully you, who are, abusive to you, those problems really start with them. That was their problem, and they just projected that energy upon you. But it was originally not your problem. You did not come into this world with this problem. If we can identify the problem, then we can also neutralize it. I don't want to say eliminate it. He says we can neutralize it, and we can understand that, hey, there's no reason for me to feel bad about this. There's no reason for me to continue this in my life because it didn't belong to me in the first place. Okay? And he's saying that way we can, eliminate a lot of the problems, and we can really work on either preventing addiction or helping people to heal the wound so they can they can get rid of the addiction, he says. So, it starts with dealing with the problem, he says. And then we slowly heal from that. And just always keep in mind, growth is a slow process. Humans want everything right away. We want to be fixed in a year. If there's problems, I want to be fixed. It takes longer. It takes longer to undo certain emotional damage and attachment to fears. A lot of people are attached to certain fears because they have gotten so used to it. It's become part of their daily life. It's become part of their daily routine, and they have a hard time releasing that. So you can do this, he says. Okay? You guys can do this. We believe in you, and everybody around you believes in you. Don't run away from problems. Instead, face them head on and say, okay, where's this problem coming from? And is this really me? And then we move forward. Okay? Healing starts from within. You won't get your healing from taking substances or abusing substances. You won't get healing from, from trying to find it outside of you. Healing will always have to start from within. And if we start there, then we can handle any problem that is offered to us, because we can then understand that all these problems will lead to growth, spiritual awareness, and awakening within. That's what we need to do.
That is beautiful. Thank you so much.
Say, I just want to tell my brother, kick your ass when you get over here.
I'm gonna kick your ass, his brother? Or was that John to his brother?
That was John to, is it James? James. He said, when we were kids, I would always kick his ass. It was just our way of dealing with things. He's talking about how he had like penny collection. And he would like, when he got $5, he'd go and exchange it, and then he would have like pennies, and he'd sort through all of them. And he's saying my brother would steal pennies and buy like candy or chocolate bars or something like that, and I would get so mad. I'd always like kick his ass.
I'd steal John's pennies.
That was our way of dealing with things. He said, I put my attention to pennies. His way of soothing himself, self-soothing, was candy.
Well, a lot of addicts crave sugar, so that makes sense. Sometimes there are little hints that you might kind of have it in your disposition. And keeping in mind,
addiction can be so, it can be external, like cutting. Some people cut themselves. Why? Because they feel like their life is numb. There's nothing there.
right.
They can't enjoy the daily life, and they can't find pleasure in their life, and so they cut themselves in order to feel alive, in order to feel pain. They want to feel something. And so, that is a very external addiction. And you're saying, you can have a very internal addiction too, like taking drugs or food.
Right.
A lot of people comfort themselves with food, and that can go into the extreme. It can really become an addiction. He's saying, 90% of people will comfort themselves with food. That is very common, but you also have that 20% where it really turns into an addiction, and it becomes physically hazardous, and it really limits them in all these different ways. So, anything could become an addiction. So sex, could also be an addiction, and a lot of times that has to do with past events. A lot of people who were abused deal with that, or sometimes it's even from past lives that they carry that with them. There's so many different reasons behind addictions, and he says you have the craziest addictions. Some people are addicted to a building. They really get addicted to materialistic things, or they get, addicted to their car. They really fall in love with their car. Some people have the weirdest ones, like, they get addicted to sniffing powder of some sort, like baby powder. Addictions can go in every possible way, every direction. But I can guarantee you that anything that's an addiction will always be harmful to you, because you are always avoiding something that's not being dealt with. You're always avoiding a trauma inside that's not being dealt with. So no matter what it is, even if it's something that people think might not be hazardous, like, being addicted to a car, really seeing that car as a partner. Some people really fall in love with their car, and they have sex with their car in some way or form, and they kiss their car, and saying, it can go into extremes. But, that might not feel like it's harmful, but it is harmful to the person, because he is starting to lose all his friends, all his, relationships won't work out. There's so many, they can lose growth in so many ways just by being focused on this one thing that takes all of their attention all day long. It takes away the attention of life. And so they kind of get stuck in this moment, like frozen within a moment, and they really don't grow anymore. And so in a way, that's also hazardous to them. It's hazardous to their spiritual growth, and it's hazardous to the contract that they came down here to experience. So either way, how weird you can possibly think it, there is an addiction probably out there somewhere. So it can go in different ways and forms. And Joe is saying, the person that will be coming in next week, he's saying, and I'm going to say it because Adam's like, it's my job to say it. He's saying, no, I want to say it.
Say it together, guys, in his head.
Adam's going, okay, fine, you can have your way. They're laughing. I think they're just joking around. Adam just went with his arm around Joe, going, "It's okay, dude. It's okay." he's saying, the person that's coming in next time also dealt with addictions in his own way, and he's a really, really close friend of mine, Joe says. He was a big inspiration for me. And so he's saying, so the next one is Ray Charles.
Oh.
Okay.
Whenever you say these people's names, I just get goosies all over.
Yeah. He's saying, I had another person, a friend who really wants to come through, but he really wants to claim his own show. So he wants to come separate from Ray, and that's probably going to be the next one. And that is John Lennon.
I've been feeling John. I felt him coming in last night, that he would be like next up.
Yeah,
that's a great confirmation for my own intuition. That is perfect. And there's one little piece I don't want to get too far past. You mentioned about addictions getting in the way of soul contracts. Is it possible that some of the things that we experience that have caused us to go into addiction are actually things we came in to experience that is part of our soul contract?
Yeah, some of it is part of the contract, and some of it is not. Some of it is hindering your contract.
Absolutely. But would it be fair to say that some people who are struggling with addiction are going through it themselves because people who have come out the other side are the most powerful healers and support for others who are getting clean and sober?
Yeah, some people really have to go through addictions. They really have to go through struggles in order to overcome that.
Right.
And once they do overcome it, they then can pass on that knowledge and help other people do it.
Right.
Because when a person has been through that state of mind and they've really been through the process of the struggles and the heartache and the pain and the sadness that comes with it, they get a better insight in how a person feels when you're in that state of mind. And so when we really get in a certain state of mind, we can then relate to the person who is going through it and say, hey, I know what you're going through. You're feeling this, this, and this now, and I know what you're thinking. You're thinking this, this, and this. So it's a lot easier for them to put themselves in their spot and say, okay, let's do this, this, and this, so we can prevent these things from happening. Because sometimes, there's a lot of people out there who can have the best education in the world about how to address people with addiction, how to help people with psychological problems. You can go to school all you want, but if you've never been in that position and you've never felt the pain and the feeling of being nobody, of not being worth anything, the feeling of not wanting to be here anymore, if you've never been through that, it's really hard to put yourself in that place. And most people who help people who have been through it will be more successful in helping those people than the people who went to school for it and just learned the theory behind it.
Absolutely.
Not that they don't help. They do want to help. They do want to do what's best for the other person. But some people really come in, in this contract. I mean, if you look at me, I've been through rape and I've been through suicide thoughts and I've been through, blaming myself, hating others. I've been through so many different stages in my life.
Now, who's talking?
That's me. That's me personally.
Okay.
I went through struggles myself, and now I understand that I needed to overcome these struggles so I can now help people that are going through the same thing. So if I have somebody coming in, I'll immediately feel, oh my God, this person was raped. I have that connection right away. I pick up on that energy because I've been there. I've been through the process. And so it's a lot easier for me to help these people because I understand where their state of mind is. So yeah, sometimes Adam says, it's part of a contract. He says it's part of a contract, but it can also hinder a contract. When you really, let's say, he says that somebody lost a person close to them. They lost a child, or they lost their wife, or they lost their husband. That grief, when they get stuck in that grief and they can't get out of the grief, when they choose to stay in that grief because they will feel guilty if they move on, if they feel happy. A lot of people, they don't want to feel happy because then they feel guilty because, I just lost my son. I just lost my daughter. I don't want to feel happy because then it makes me look like a traitor towards their loss. And so some people choose to stay in that negativity, to stay in that lower frequency. A lot of those people will then find a way to numb the pain. They will find a way to, to stay in the grief, but at the same time numb the pain so they don't have to feel it anymore. When we do that, and it's in your contract to overcome this grief, and to grow from it and maybe go onto a spiritual journey, when they are stuck in there and they are, going to substances to numb the pain, then they're actually hindering their contract. And that's the thing. He says, Mom, he's saying everybody has their own contract and everybody has their unique frequency in the universe. So, never judge a person because they might be addicted or they might, do things that we consider as not done. Never judge people because we don't know what they're here to learn. We don't know what's in their contract. And, if you feel the urge that you need to help this person, then you need to follow that feeling. You need to always follow and trust your heart because somebody is telling you, hey, go help this person. He needs you. Okay? If you feel like, oh my God, I need to stay away from this person, then follow that. Okay, that doesn't mean that you're turning your back towards them, but that means that something is telling you that this person needs to either find somebody else or he needs to fix it himself, or it's just part of his contract that, that is the way that he might leave. Follow your feelings, he says.
Isn't it true that you can only fix it yourself?
You can, but sometimes we do need the love and support.
Well, of course, you always are going to need the love and support, but it's something that's going to come from within rather than from without.
Always. You will never be able, you can talk to a million psychiatrists. If you don't make that connection within yourself and you don't decide like, okay, this is it. I need to start thinking in a different way. I need to fix this problem. The healing will always start within yourself, no matter what it is, whether it's addiction, whether it is, just feeling depressed about your life, feeling stuck, whether it is, not being able to let go of somebody that you love who doesn't love you back. Whatever the situation is, the answer will always lay within you, Adam says. The answer is you. This is your life. You create your own reality. So that means that you also have full control over your thoughts and your emotions. He's saying take advantage of that ability that you can say no. Enough of the self-hurt, enough of the self-damage. I'm going to go in a different direction, and it starts with me. It starts with how I see the world, how I experience it emotionally, and really about making that click in your head and saying, enough is enough. I'm done with going over and over in the same routine, damaging myself, damaging my future. Enough is enough. If you can say that, and you can make that very aware decision that I need to make changes if I want my life to change. Because a lot of people, Adam says, want their life to change, but they count on other people to make the changes. They count on the outside world to change. If I have this, then I'll feel better. If I have that, then I'll feel better. If I get this job, I'll feel better. If I get that girl, I'll feel better. Guess what? You can have the girl, you can have the job, as long as that part, that piece of you that's missing within you isn't fixed with your own self-love. You can have the girl, you'll still feel miserable. You might feel great for about the first month, but after that, you'll notice that you still feel as miserable with or without her. It's not going to fix anything. Everything needs to be fixed from within your soul because self-love is the healing to everything. It's about understanding and accepting yourself and accepting the universe around you, he says. It's about accepting that everything happens for a reason, and it's about accepting that you're in control of your life. And if you can figure that out, if you can understand that no matter how rich you get, no matter how fancy of a car you have, that's only a temporary fix. That's it. It's always temporary. The person is never satisfied. They always want more and more and more. But if you can find that self-love 100% within you and feel that connection to everything around you and to the universe, then you won't need those pleasures. You won't need those outside shots, he says, those, to make you feel whole, to make you feel balanced, to make you feel happy. But it'll be a little extra fun if you do get it, but you won't need it to feel happy. And that's the difference. Love from within is always everlasting love. Anything that you try to fill or create a happiness from outside of you will always be temporary.
Beautiful words. Great advice.
I'm saying I love everybody.
Seriously, this is going to be so helpful. Say that again.
I love you.
Who said that?
Adam. He's saying, I know you can hear me, he says, and I love you, and I have faith in you, and I am with you every day and every step of the way.
That is awesome. Could we say that goes the same for his brother?
Mm-hmm. I think that's who he was talking to.
It's okay to say it, because I felt that message was actually not for me. It was for Nathan. We're going to say his name.
Nate.
We're going to say his name. Okay, we're going to say his name because it starts with admitting there's a problem. And I'm asking anybody watching this to please send love and light to Adam's brother. He's a beautiful soul. He is a healer of healers. His natal chart bears the mark of resurrection. So when he picks himself up, there's going to be no stopping him, but he's struggling, and we love him. And he's awesome, and he's amazing, and I can't wait to see what he brings to the world when he realizes his worth.
Yeah, he said he is inside so connected, and that's what confuses him, and that's okay. He says, I'm going to be there with him every step of the way, but when he finds that connection back, when he finds that Native American root that he has within him, and when he understands that he was a healer and a medicine man in some of his lives, then he will reconnect with that healing, and then the self-healing can start, and then the healing with others will follow. There you go. That's what's going to happen. He's saying, I'm right, Nate. I'm right.
We're going to put some Reiki Juju on that. And so it is. What a beautiful, beautiful visit, guys. I am so pleased with this. I am so happy. This is going to help so many people. So many people. We've got some serious healing energy in this video, folks. Share it with people for whom you think it might make a difference.
Yeah. He's saying, love is the answer to all. Love is the answer. And it starts with you. Start loving yourself, and then the rest will follow. Very easily, very fluently, because you will attract it.
There is so much love energy in this video that my dog is like a magnet. He won't get off me. I keep putting him down and he's licking my bare leg and I can't stand it. He's
like, oh
serious. My God, he's clinging to me. He's sleeping on my neck and I keep putting him down and he comes right back.
He just wants to kiss you.
Well, it's
he just wants to kiss you.
He's affectionate, but he's unusually affectionate. I'm just saying there's a lot of love energy. With this today. So much healing available through this video.
Yeah, and Adam says never think you're alone, because you're not. You have a whole team around you. Every single person has their own unique team who's around you. So don't be afraid to say, hey guys, I need help. Please help me energetically so I can make the right choices. That's all you need to do. Just ask.
Beautiful. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Adam is he's kissed today. Very kissy. He's blowing kisses constantly.
That's so
And that's
sweet.
what happens when you hang out with all these cool guys, you know.
It's
And,
amazing.
everybody has their story. You know, whether you are famous, whether you are, a teacher or a doctor or whatever it is you do, we all have our story. We all have struggles in life, but it's how you deal with them that makes the difference. It's how you see them. Don't see them as anything negative. There are no struggles in life. There's only chances to learn, opportunities to grow. That's all there is. So don't call them, struggles or failures or whatever negative word you want to attach to it.
Mm-hmm.
Just see them as opportunities to grow, learn, and evolve. That's how you have to see
That's an absolutely beautiful, healthy message. And it's a perfect note to end on.
it. That's so goofy.
Thank you so much. Anything else before we go? Joe, thank you. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Adam. And I'm thrilled to hear about our upcoming guests, Ray Charles and John Lennon. And I'm especially thrilled because yesterday evening, all of a sudden, I just kind of went, oh, John Lennon. Is that
Yeah,
how
he's
it works?
ready. He's going to be preparing. He's going to be coming to you and getting your vibe on.
So this is, really, this is cool. Just a side note. I was advised to stop eating gluten last weekend. Adam said, you will be surprised how your communication has increased. And he wasn't kidding. All of a sudden.
Me that too, that I could get even better. And because I eat a lot of bread, and I do always have a full belly, so I think I do have a sensitivity to gluten. So yeah. I think I'm going to try that too, and we should both see how it improves.
Sure, and just so you know, to be told 1 minute to go gluten-free and then, say 3-4 hours later when you get hungry, you're like a deer in the headlights. You're like, oh my God, what can I eat? Thank goodness Adam's cousin Kaylee, is gluten-free and she shares recipes with me. But what I've started doing is putting some time and energy into creating some gluten-free recipes. And what I've done is tried to make it really simple. I just take a photo of the food and just put simple directions on the photo so that you don't even have to read a recipe. Right on the picture, what it is.
Oh, okay.
So, maybe we can help each other out with some gluten-free recipes. I've come up with a few this week if you want a good place to start. But seriously, folks, since I have not been eating gluten, all of a sudden, I was intuitive already, but he was right. I couldn't believe it when I'm like, oh, John Lennon. And then, of course, the way it always works, of course, I didn't believe it. I thought, oh, gee, I wonder why I'm thinking of John. And then I'm like, well, it's because he's going to be your next guest. And then I got, no, probably the one after. And I really did get all of that. And then what did you tell me today? So, folks, believe it. When you get it, what you hear, what you feel, believe it. That's how it works, right, Emma? She's a medium. Listen to her.
It's important. Yeah, I had the same problem when I first started. I was like, is this me? Is my imagination? Like, I couldn't tell the difference. But Eric and Adam always say, know that whatever needs to come out at that moment will come out.
Right.
But whether it's you or your imagination, the message that's attached to it needs to be said. So he always says, we'll never allow you to say something that we don't want you to say, So trust us 100% and trust yourself 100% that whatever comes in, when you're not thinking about it, is 100% them. So it's all about trust.
Absolutely.
Trust. Trust and exercise. Practice, people. It's like riding a bike. The more you do it, the more you trust it. Because if you ride your bike, you also have to trust yourself that you'll be able to do it without the little wheels, on the side. So in a way, it's also a trust factor that, okay, if I trust that I'm getting information in for this person, that means I must be getting it in for a reason. So trust yourself that you are getting this information in order to pass it on to somebody or in order to help yourself. It's all about trust. So trust yourself, but also trust your team that they will never allow you to say things that might be harmful to that other person.
I like that. That's wonderful. Beautiful. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this video, check out our blog at www.adamsgift.net and check out emmanuelmacintosh.com. I forgot the www dot.
Oh, it works without the www too. So
Does it?
Yeah.
Way to go, internet. I love you, Adam. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Emma. Love all of you. See you next time.
We love you very, very much. And thank you for this opportunity to talk about something very, very dear to our hearts.
It is truly our pleasure. Bye. Bye.